that's the.
Actually, it's always bad.
One day we're gonna make a template. We're gonna be like, now we talk about this.
Right.
Now we talk about that. Now, I'm not saying we'll use that template, but we're gonna make it. We might even show it to you. It's like, talk about this. Although I will say, usually we do try and figure out what we're gonna talk about at least a little bit.
Right.
Guess what? We didn't do it all.
We didn't prep for this one, but
2 solid
new.
2 solid weeks. We usually at least think about it. All right. So, like for example, last time we had a yeast disaster, so we talked about infected beer.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, look, that's something to talk about. And time before that, I think we were talking about hops, and we talk about lots of stuff. But yeah, this time we pretty much
That's right.
yep, didn't prep at all.
We'll shoot from the hip, and if we
Totally from the hip.
and if we have any viewers during the live stream, help.
Yeah, it'll be sweet.
Give us a
Something to talk about.
recommendation.
Yes.
Maybe you have a question. If we know the answer, we'll answer it, or we'll look it up with you.
Yeah.
I'm at 147, by the way.
You're at 147? Oops. Better turn that down. A little bit of lag there.
They're at 141. So yeah, we're about equalized.
Okay. So, cool beans. That is nifty. Hey, what are we doing today? So you might notice that we have 2 pots today. Ordinarily, we have 1 pot because we do 5 gallons of beer at a time. But we feel that we're getting far enough along in the process that now we can start playing a little bit. So with our local brew supply store that we like to use, we've pretty much used all their recipes that we're really interested in. I think there's a couple that we're just like, no.
Yeah, there's like the loggers. We're just not really caring about doing loggers, at least not anytime soon.
Yeah, and so, but the ones that we like to do, which is quite a few. I mean, we must have done like, I think we've done 10 different kinds of beers so far. All ales, pretty much.
Pretty much,
right?
yeah. Everything. I think everything's been in.
Well, we did the Bach clone. We did that one Bach clone, and Bachs are technically lagers, and that turned out all right.
It wasn't too bad. Could have been better.
It could have been better. We're shooting for a Shiner Bach clone, and so we looked at, we fiddled around on the internet, found a recipe, sent it off to our guys, and we're like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. And yeah, like the specialty grain sack was almost nothing.
Yeah,
it was like half a pound of like corn and rice. It wasn't even. I don't think there was any barleys or anything in it. It's
No,
kind of
sure.
weird.
Yeah, I'm at temperature, by the way, on my side. You are very close. You're at 147.
Okay, so we are going to stagger our brews because even though we'll shut off the broadcast before we get to the final portion, well, I should tell you what we're going to do today.
Yeah. You might be wondering, why are they doing 2 beer kettles?
Yes.
Are they going to drink that much beer? Well,
Why?
yes, we will, but
Yes.
we're going to do it. We're going to have a little fun with it first.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to tell.
And why do they keep talking about it without telling us what the hell they're doing?
Just tell us!
Okay, fine. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to brew 2 identical batches of beer, but we are going to change the hop schedule in, and I've just made this decision, this pot. So in that pot, we are going to make one of the recipes from our brew supply place called Temptation Ale. A very pale to light gold, delicately balanced Kolsch-style ale with hints of flavor, aroma hops, and fruitiness that finishes dry to slightly sweet. Original gravity, 1.051. Final gravity, 1.013. Alcohol, 5%. And IBUs, 21%. Are they in that bag there?
Oh. All I saw was the ice block, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that would be really bad. So we should have 5 hops total. There's 2 for one. 2 for another. All right.
All right.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. That was a minor moment of
Panic.
Yeah.
I just thought this was thrown in there as a, the ice block.
yeah.
For obvious reasons, but I was like, oh my God.
Did he forget to put the hops in? But we should check because somebody, as much as we like our brew supply guys, because they are really great. They're super helpful. When I set about doing this process, they really let me pick their brains and gave me some good advice. And so, but maybe once we bought some stuff from them and we totally got the wrong stuff.
They're only human, it happens.
Yeah,
You know?
they fixed it, but that would really suck if that had happened right now. And it would have totally been on me, so that's up to temperature, isn't it?
Yeah, we're both at temperature needs to come down a little bit now.
Which way is down?
Towards you.
Nope, okay, the other way.
There we go. So I'm at 155 and holding. You're at 158, but which is still within the right range.
Right, well, we'll go ahead and rock and roll and do your thing. All right, so.
You talk to our friends, I will get everything ready.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna move this pot just a little so I can actually see the flame. Ouch, wow, that's really hot. What a surprise, huh?
All right.
One of the problems with these things is you can't see how high the flame is. I'm gonna go as low as I can.
Yeah, you're good. I'm still at, no, I'm at a couple degrees, but.
Okay, I can see your flames.
All right.
All right, good deal. You wanna hold this spoon for you?
Yeah.
All right.
Get these guys. Ooh,
That would have been bad.
that's slightly annoying.
So what flavor beer is this? Motor oil?
Garage floor.
Garage floor special. Is that too long?
No, I think it'll be right. If not, I'll just roll it. All right, let's get yours going because we need to get the timer.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So let's start.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
start 15 minutes later. So you set the timer for that. I got a phone too, so I can do that. So just keep an eye. Go ahead and set your timer. All right.
It's going.
And at 15 minutes, we'll put that one in.
Right.
All right. So anywho, let me read the rest of Temptation Ale. You've all heard it before if you're a repeat viewer. If you're not a repeat viewer, you haven't heard this before. So final gravity 1.013, alcohol 5%, IBUs 21%. It has half a pound of Crystal 10L and half a pound of Cara Pills. Those are our specialty grains. 6.6 pounds of Pilsen liquid malt extract.
He gave you priming sugar.
He always gives me priming sugar. I don't even talk to him about it anymore. It's like,
I don't know.
maybe you can dump it.
Trevor, Ben always asks me how we're doing. I said, we're caning. He's like, okay, you don't need this stuff.
Well, then, Ben asked you, then I must have talked with Trevor. It doesn't matter. Maybe pour it on your kids' cornflakes. See what?
Maybe.
I don't know. Pour it on my kids' cornflakes. See? It probably doesn't taste that good, to be honest. All right, so our hops are Liberty and then Saz. Liberty goes in at 60 minutes, and hops 2, Saz, goes in at 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. This is 10 minutes remaining on the
Right.
boil. So.
And apparently, so after talking with Ben or Trevor, whoever I talked with, there's only 2 of them, so I talked with one of them. Anyways, after talking with them, that he said that's the way I prefer. So I'm getting the idea that's kind of an industry standard. Like 60 minutes, if you say minute 60, that's the beginning.
Right.
You say minute 5, that's, you got 5 minutes
5 minutes
left. I'm
left,
thinking that's kind of like the way.
That's the way it's interpreted, yeah.
Yeah,
Across the
because
board.
I'm just guessing, just because that's the way, or maybe he just likes to do it that way. And then our yeast is first choice Y yeast 265 Kolsch. You take it off the flame.
Yeah, I might have to. I keep interrupting your descriptions.
That's all right. It's not a big deal. It is kind of an ad-lib show, just talk along.
Yeah, you're right.
It is, dude. You need pot holders or roll your sleeves down. I used to be a welder. I have tough hands, and I had to do it.
Stay off for a few minutes.
Really nice shot of your butt. Okay, I'm sorry. In any case,
It is what it is.
and yeah, I'd rather do that because it is a pain in the butt. We really need to get an aim in flame. It's not a pain in the butt to light these things.
Try trying to leave this on burner.
Well, how far down can you turn it? Go.
I don't know.
This regulator sucks. All right, there we go. We'll just let it sit there. Ambiance. Carbon monoxide in the garage for 4 hours. We like to live life on the edge. All right, so we smacked her. So that's the same yeast. So that is the basic recipe. Now the difference is, did you put the citra hops in the fridge?
Everything's in the fridge.
I guess we can show the citra hops later, or we can do it now. So we were reading, and I guess citra hops is kind of trendy right now, which I don't like to consider myself trendy, but I think it's called citra because it's citrusy. I mean, that's, I don't know.
Yeah, here's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Packaging.
So
Closer.
closer. Oh, too close. No, that's good. All right.
There you go. There's the packaging.
So anyways, it seems like it was kind of trendy because I was reading online, because I didn't check the dates of any of the websites that I looked at. You know, they might have been 2 or 3 years old. But it's a popular hop, and we want to use it as a flavoring hop. And that was one of the things when I called Ben and Trevor, I was like, so you think this is totally idiotic? And he's like, no, man, I think this is a great idea. Yeah, go for it. So that all is cool. So the difference is, now here's the thing, so I'm talking about hops and things like that. So we are on a journey, right, for the rest of our lives, pretty much, as long as we can brew beer. You know, and if we get too old to lift kettles, we'll just hire someone.
We'll hire somebody, yeah.
We'll still brew beer. We'll just hire someone to do all the lifting of kettles and such. In any case, I spit it out there. I think our original idea was like, yeah, and we'll pitch them at 30 minutes and we'll see if that changes things.
Right.
And he was like, you know, I think if you pitch it 30 minutes, you're going to boil away all the flavors that you're going after by adding these different hops. You know? So he suggested at minute 0. And
Right.
I think we should take that advice. Now the other thing he said a lot of guys will do, and I don't think we should do that today. Let's keep our changes very simple. So guys will chill down to 170 and let it sit for 15 minutes. And then they'll do the rest of their chilling and then throw it in the fermenter. I'm thinking we're going to be 15 minutes apart on these brews, right? So I'm saying let's just pitch it at 0 and then chill and go from there.
Go for there. Keep it simple for now, since this is our first little tangent on, the process. So why not?
So yeah, let's not get too crazy and do every modern technique and nifty new thing. So we're gonna pitch at 0. So we're gonna kill the flame. Gonna throw the citra hops in that kettle right there, and then we're gonna go from there. The other thing we're gonna do is document. Guess what? We don't have a pen or a paper.
It's right over there.
We should get it. I guess we don't really need it right now.
Not right now, really. Mainly, we just need to make sure we keep the fermenters and the kegs and stuff as we go through the process label for which one was which, so we don't confuse the two. So.
Right. Well, that's for sure. I mean, if the documentation is, you can kind of. We'll just make sure.
We're only changing one thing, so.
Yeah, so it's not.
I don't really think we need to document it like all crazy, like.
But we should still document, because I am not good at documenting. You're good at documenting, and I have managed to poison your mind and prevent you from documenting anything for as many weeks as we've been doing this broadcast and brewing now. Well, I'm a bad friend.
No, you're not. I've already said that if we ever go all grain, or even if we don't ever go all grain, we just kind of design our own recipes, then it's more important to document. That way, the main thing is so it's repeatable. You want to be able to repeat the recipe, especially if you experiment with, let's try these hops, let's try these grains, let's try these extracts, and not really knowing what's going to happen. You want to write down everything you did, temperatures, times, all that stuff. So if you end up creating that masterpiece beer, you want to be able to make the process repeatable. So that's a big part of documentation when you're brewing. Us following the recipes, it's kind of documented for us. We should probably document just for the sake of practice, but personally, I just don't really feel the need right now, So thanks for poisoning my thought process. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm here. Bad influence. That's what friends are for. I don't want to be too good.
because the more and more I read and learn about, home brewing, the easier it sounds to get out and just try different things. Not, instead of trying to worry about someone else's recipe, start designing your own beers. If you have a rudimentary understanding of what kind of grains will have what kind of effect, you can mix and match and figure things out, or get really experimental, even avant-garde, and just try to do some weird stuff. But I think brewing your own ratios and stuff, or using your own ratios, your own ideas to brew what you want, that's going to become your signature beer in time. Especially if you take that time to write everything down so it's repeatable.
But the big thing is you got to know.
You got to know
changes
what
do.
These malts do. You got to know what these grains do, and that's just going to come with experience and taking the time to study a little bit.
Which is why we're just doing one change today,
right?
I mean, because the other thing is so today we're changing hops, right? And that's cool. But what if next time we change yeast, right?
We're good.
And if we did something crazy like change hops and yeast, a little bit more towards you, a little more. That's going to have to do. I can kind of see the flames. I know which way to turn to make it go up.
I got a good view of the flame.
All right, so it's not out?
No, it's still going.
All right, what's our timer say? We got to keep an eye on that because
Yeah.
you don't have a beeper.
20 minutes and 50 seconds. I gave it a little bit of flame on yours. We don't want it to get too cool.
Yeah, well then it's going to take time to get back.
Because
up to
yours is
temperature.
perfect temperature right now.
All right, sweet. So anyways, yeah, so then it's all right, so what happens what if we use Citra hops and a German lager yeast, even though we're still making a Yale, yes.
A Yale.
Law degree beer, it's a good stuff. By the way, this is actually pretty good. So this was supposed to be, what was it? Oh, this was supposed to be a cream ale.
It's supposed to be a cream ale, yeah.
We had the yeast disaster, we killed our yeast.
This guy.
And then we went to a different brewer supply guy because the other guys are so far away. And he disappointed us. And the yeast was expired, but we were like, what the heck? Let's give it a shot. It kind of puffed, threw it in there. So it was like, what?
A little bit, didn't it?
No, not for 2 days.
Oh, it took a while? Okay.
So it was like, what? We did one full day with nothing in it.
Which shouldn't really matter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then we threw the yeast in. We did another 2 days with no action.
Right.
And then it started to go. We did notice that the last cream ale we did, so this is another recipe that we did from the brew supply store that we go mostly. And so it's not a sweet beer if you do it right. But this one is a little bit sweet.
Slightly sweet, but that could be, who knows what could have happened there. That could have been from, maybe the grains were wrong, maybe the yeast, or not the yeast, but maybe we didn't do the hops at the right moments. Maybe it was the wrong kind of hops. I mean, you never know. So we don't quite know what affected this beer, other than the fact that we had to use old yeast, which still has somewhat of an effect. But I don't think it has very high ABV though. I think it came out really low grade ABV, just because that yeast was not that active in consuming those sugars. That's probably why it's sweet, because it probably didn't.
Well, that's what I think. I think it's sweet because it didn't consume a lot of the sugars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure if all the sugars that make a beer sweet are fermentable. Because there's fermentable sugars and there's non-fermentable sugars. And I don't know.
Depending on what malt extracts or what specialty grains you use, you're probably going to get some of those non-fermentable sugars, which do affect the flavor of the beer in the end. Pretty much everything you do during this brewing process, from something as rudimentary as sanitization to what hop you use, when you use it, what grain you use, will affect the flavor of the beer in some form or fashion. Time, heat, all that stuff all factors into the flavor. It's not a perfect exact. I mean, I guess it is an exact science in a way, but
it's not exactly science,
but it
is.
But because we're never going to be able to have the exact same temperatures at the exact same times. I don't think we don't have the equipment for that. Maybe the microbreweries or even the large scale craft breweries have the equipment that can repeat that process. But we will never be able to do that. We just we're old school. But that's, by the way, we only got about 2.5 minutes left.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
it's time to put yours in. So you should probably get this guy ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
No, but to continue what I was saying, yeah, every little thing you do can affect the flavor of the beer in the end.
All right, that's good. What's you got the thermometer?
Yeah. We should invest in a second one. I don't know if we keep doing these dual brew days. 155-ish. 156. You're trying to maintain at 156.
Which is kind of right in the zone.
Right in the zone. I ain't too hot.
I'm gonna have to start. Is my phone upside down? I
Alright.
can never tell which side is up.
Mine is too hot. Ramp the line. Cool off a little bit.
So about half an hour, right?
Well, yeah, we didn't quite do it at the 50-minute mark, but it's all right.
But I put half an hour.
Yeah.
Like I have my own time. Yeah. I actually have a phone.
No, I know, half an hour.
I'm not a chocolate addict.
It's a half hour steep.
We also have indoor plumbing at my house, just saying. Put that here. There we are.
Trying to get some of that heat on.
All right. So we're in it now. Now,
I'm gonna feel the heat on mine.
just gonna kill it?
Yeah.
Because I'm at 165, is that what I saw?
I'm like at 165. I only have 15 minutes on my steep, so I think we'll be fine.
Okay, sounds good, man.
This is not very golden. You remember it being this color? This seems different to me. I don't know. But
It was a different time of year.
we've only done the Kolsch once, so
Maybe the
it's
lights
not-
coming in the window differently.
It's possible.
I don't know.
I think the last time we did a Kolsch, it was winter and darker out. It just seems like it's way more blonde than what we usually do.
It does, doesn't it? Well, just keep. We got 15 minutes left on this.
I'm not complaining. I'm just observing.
As long as everything's the same. As long as everything's the same, that's the big thing.
Right.
But I do think the Kolsch style, it's a pale
lighter
beer.
beer,
It's not one of the more darker beers. For some reason, our IPAs all end up looking like stouts. I don't know what we keep doing wrong. I mean, they're not quite that dark, but
No, but
they are. They're all dark.
they are. That could be any number of things, man.
Maybe it's just the recipe.
Maybe. All right, I am at 14. Speaking of IPA, should we refill with those? You want some more of the?
Well,
cream?
let's kill that one because you know that growler is kind of. We were thinking this thing would be flat. We're gonna be drinking flat beer, but surprisingly, it hung in there. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a fresh pour like you said, but
Good enough.
it's completely drinkable. I mean, that's it. It's not disgusting.
No, we did fine. And even sitting in the fridge since Friday was fine too.
Yeah, see, like you can see, there's like almost no head on that or anything. But if I was closer, you'd see these little micro bubbles in here.
All right.
There we go. Yeah, that's hung in there fine.
All right, good. Progress. All right. Let me clean up a little bit while you talk.
We need to develop a system. We just need to develop a system. It's obvious. So anyhow, we're making this variation, and we're doing it one thing at a time. And so we'll get this. One of the reasons we're doing 2 batches of beer instead of just like making this and then variating is because I have 0 flavor memory. None. My wife is amazing. She's like, do you remember that delicious steak we ate 75 years ago? It's like, no, I don't. And I don't know how you do. Okay, it's hyperbole. I'm not 75 years old. We all know this. But the point being is she remembers these foods from such a long time ago. It's like, babe, I don't remember what dinner tasted like a week ago. Which is a really dumb thing to say to your wife, by the way.
I know, right?
Yeah, don't. It just. I usually follow it up with, I remember it was delicious, but it's usually too late at that point and I'm in trouble. That's starting to look darker.
By that time, she already knows you don't remember.
Yes, I don't remember. But she knows that. I said that about it. I told her that. So, the point being, we're going to brew 2 batches. and that's going to taste like that, and this is going to taste like whatever it tastes like. And yeah, they're going to be slightly different. But the goal is being able to know what the Citra hops does.
Right.
Right?
I noticed on the labeling, it is a 12.5 alpha acid. What that means is it would actually, if you use it for a bittering hop, it would actually make it kind of bitter. So, because alpha acids in hops are only affect the bitterness of the beer, and those are the ones that you would put in as early as possible in the boil, so that it boils all those down and releases all those acids and all those alphas, so that you get the more bitterness effect.
Should we look up alpha acids? We can talk about that. We can look up websites.
Yeah, do you have your?
I always bring it. That's part of the gear, man. Glass, phone, thingamajigget. Thingamajigget. Also known as an earpod.
I'm still running a little bit hot, but that's all right.
Well, it's coming down though. You killed your heat, right?
Yeah, I killed the heat.
All right, so
By kind of moving this around, it should release some of the heat out of the water.
So yeah, we got into alpha acids because what were we looking up? But this term called AAU popped up.
Yeah, that's alpha acid.
Right, but don't you remember at the time we were like, what the heck?
We didn't know what that meant. And the number is a percentage. If you ever see AAU in like a recipe, it's a percentage of alpha acid that's in the hop itself, whether it's a pellet or or even a full hop flower. If you're doing that type of hopping.
Hopping.
So, yeah.
I think it's a word. El cuarto de calor.
I mean, using fresh hops or dried, hops over a pellet is pretty good as well. I have yet to do it, but what I've read, it's just as good of a process. The pelletized hops, everything's just compressed in a tiny little like rabbit food, but it still contains all the same chemicals and releases everything as it should. So you're looking up alpha acids. There's also beta acids, but those usually boil away during the process. Especially when you put your hops in, like your 60-minute or your 45-minute hops, those beta acids are gone. They don't really do anything. So, but you might see that referenced on a recipe as well. The more hop flavor and the more aroma you get from your beer is from the hops that are put in as close to the finish of the boil as possible. That's why we're going to go for a 0-minute, meaning the moment it comes off the heat, that's 0 minute. We're putting those citrus in there to get the maximum amount of hop aroma and flavor out of it and see what happens at the end.
All right.
What'd you find?
Well, I'm on jaysbrewing.com. All right. This is kind of an old article, 2012, but it's not like AEU's change.
I know, right?
All right.
Is coming in behind me.
Sometimes with beer recipes, you'll see next to the hops a number followed by AAU. If you're new with the world of brewing, it's understandable that you might not have a clue as to what this means, which a month ago, that was me and Steve. All right. What the AAU, so he gives a little sample recipe: 5 pounds light DME, 6 AAUs Fuggle, 10 AAUs Kent Goldings hops, right? What the AAU is referring to is the weight and the alpha acid of that particular hop. To get to the AAUs, you use this formula. AAU equals the weight, number of ounces, times the percent of alpha acids as a whole number. So don't try and use 1.7%. I guess that's the idea.
Okay.
Calculating AAUs for recipe is a way to ensure that your beer will remain at the same level of hoppiness from batch to batch. It's a nice calculation to use because hops acidity changes from year to year. Oh, so you could get Citra hops from 2012 and Citra hops from 2013, and they would have different AAUs. Interesting. Also, if you had to substitute hops ever, this measurement will allow you to get a more accurate approach on the bitterness of the hop. Going back to the example, if we know the AAU and we then know alpha acid, 4.2% for Fuggle, and we plug those numbers in, it looks like this. 6 AAU, parentheses Fuggle hops, he just puts that as a label, equals ounce times 4. We just need to change around the formula to better fill our needs, which is to find out how many ounces we need for this particular recipe. And you thought you wouldn't need algebra. Welcome to brewing. All right, so ounces equals AAUs divided by the alpha acid percentage number. in this case 6x4, you need 1.5 ounces to get the correct level of bitterness out of the beer. Correct being what you want.
Right.
Of course. There is no such thing as correct. The reason why using AAUs for your recipe can be helpful is that even if the crop's alpha acid changes, if you know the AAUs, then you can still put in the right amount of hops.
Right, you just adjust your hop weight, I guess you could say.
Right, and of course, and as you were saying, this is more for bitterness, though. It's not so much for flavoring and aroma.
No, it's going to bitter
Right.
beer.
So this is something you'd put in at 60 minutes. Like this stuff, for this one, we throw in the hops Liberty, the Liberty hops, right at 60 minutes. So when the boil starts, oop, chuck it in there. How's this doing? Temperature-wise?
High 150s.
Oh, did you just check
I
it?
just checked it, yeah.
Okay, sweet.
About 8 seconds ago.
No, that's good. That's good. I believe you. You're much better at staying on top of this stuff than I am. Yeah, yours got way toasty because you're still warm.
156, when it says hit 157. So as long as it stays below 160, I'm happy with it.
So anyways, that's one.
You're at 157. So we're actually matched temperature-wise.
Wow.
Nice.
Good. I still got flame going on, right?
Yeah, you got flame.
All right. Let's check this next one. Howtobrew.com.
All right, let me go check on something.
All right. So, howtobrew.com. Now this is right out of a book, obviously. But it's howtobrew.com, John Palmer. So here we go. As noted in the glossary, there are two ways to measure hops for use in brewing. The first way to measure the bittering potential of the hops going into the boil. Alpha acid units or homebrewing bittering units, HBUs, are the weight of the hops multiplied by the percentage of alpha acids. This unit is convenient for describing hop additions in a recipe because it indicates the total bittering potential from a particular hop variety while allowing for variation from year to year in the percentage of alpha acids. Alpha acid is a good way to state hops in your recipes by specifying the amount of alpha acid for each addition.
Mine is real close. That's why I'm getting prepped.
Oh yeah, oh good idea. Well, we still got to get, oh no, we don't. Right, got you. All right. I got distracted. I'm totally distracted. What was I talking about? Right, so if we use the alpha acid method, then we don't have to worry about, well, we can figure out how much hops to add to get the bitterness that we want. Instead of like, for example, we use recipes, right? That's where we're at right now. So we're throwing in 1 ounce of Liberty hops. Now, if the AAUs in those Liberty hops are different, then theoretically our beers would be different. So like if the AAUs in Steve's Liberty hops are, let's say, 2%, and the AAUs in my Liberty hops are 6%, we're going to get a different bitterness in the beers. I'm suddenly really disappointed in life.
Why is that?
Just because we worked so hard to get everything like this, and now we're finding out that, oh, guess what? It can be different just by the year of the hops.
I know, it is pretty interesting though, isn't it?
Although I'm assuming that the hops that Trevor and Ben sold us were, and he's gone again, checking on things. I'm assuming that the hops that Ben and Trevor sold us were from the same year, and so they have the same AAUs to them. All right, so what are we going here? Second way, so the first way, I didn't notice the first way. What's the first way? Second way estimates how much of the alpha acid is isomerized, and actually dissolves into the beer. The equation for international bittering units takes the amount of hops in AAUs and applies factors for the boil gravity, volume, and boiling time. IBUs are independent of batch size and to a large extent independent of style, unlike the AAU. This is getting a little bit deeper than I really expected to go. Hop resins act like oil in water. It takes the boiling action of the wort to isomerize them, which means that the chemical structure of the alpha acid compounds is altered so that the water molecules can attach and these compounds can dissolve into the wort. Because as we all know, oil and water doesn't mix. Oil and water don't mix. Having a grammar moment. In any case, so the whole boiling thing of the wort is what allows the oil to bond with the water products in there. All right, several factors in the wort boil influence the degree to which isomerization. Unfortunately, how all these factors affect the utilization is complicated, not well understood. Empirical equations have been developed, which give us at least some ability to estimate IBUs for home brewing. The utilization is influenced by the vigor of the boil, the total gravity of the boil, the time of the boil, and several other minor factors. The vigor of the boil can be considered a constant for each individual brewer, but between brewers, there's probably some variation. I gotta admit, we probably don't have a constant. Sometimes we have really solid boils, sometimes they're energetic, sometimes not. Hey, I think we got a comment. It's not popping up here, but it's popping up on this screen. What do we got? Energizer Beast 19C. Hello. Welcome to Northwest Brewmeister's Brew Day. How are you doing? We'll see if they respond. Hey, we're doing really well.
Okay.
So, are you a brewer? We have
Sorry,
a live
hungry children.
Yes, we do bill ourselves as the most professional broadcast this side of the Columbia River.
Totally. Right.
Say hello to Energizer Beast 19 Charlie.
Hello, Energizer. I know exactly who that is.
Do you?
Yes, that's my nephew.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Thanks, Chase, for joining us on the broadcast.
Oh, well, that doesn't make You're floating in. You're awesome, Chase. Okay, so
he does broadcast too, but it's all about gaming and stuff.
Well, yeah, because gaming is that's
all right. That's it, man.
That's the cool thing. Okay, so that's yours.
Mine is ready.
All right, so
actually, I left my fire off. Now let's leave the fire off.
Did you measure this? See how it's doing?
Yeah, before I went in and take care of the children, I took the temperature. You were like at 157 or so, kind of holding. We're gonna have to restart my flame though.
It's all right. We can do that. 154.6.
You're good. You have about, what, 16 minutes or so on yours?
Somewhere there. I could check it over here. But
it's fine.
We were really close. Here, go ahead and put this down. You got your bowl, right? Did you get that?
Yeah, that's right there.
Okay.
Man, your chickens are going to be real happy. They're getting 2 grain bags.
I know. I'm going to have fat chickens. Fat chickens. But fat chickens are a good thing.
Maybe the fat chickens will lay more eggs so you can sell more eggs.
We actually sold 2 chickens today.
You did?
Yeah. You know, one of our friends from church, she's like, can I buy a couple chickens? And so, yeah, Timo sold them $60.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
That's actually,
I didn't know chickens were worth that much.
A laying hen. Oh yeah, if you jump on Craigslist right now and look for laying hens, it'll be between $45 and $50 for a laying hen.
Ah, things I learn every day.
Did you already pull the plastic off?
No.
Give me that one and I'll grab either one.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
But I did bring a label.
That is good. Okay. Not getting sticky today. That's right. Not getting sticky. I'm totally lying to myself. I'm gonna get totally sticky.
Totally gonna get sticky.
Hate getting
Because that's what malt extracts do.
I just hate. This is the only part of this whole process I hate. I do not like being sticky. Have I ever told you I don't like messy food? Don't like ribs. Don't like wings. Don't like sloppy joes. Any food that makes me messy, not my thing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. Wow, look at that doing. That's so nice. Right, from now on, we're doing the water thing.
Yeah, see, I thought that would be a good idea. So usually we do the stuff and it pours like, well, molasses, because that's kind of what it's like. But it's like half cold. So today we put it in nice warm water before this. Yep. I got stickies. Damn it.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I did.
Alright. I'm gonna do what he's doing that, is try to lay a little bit in here.
Look at this efficiency, dude.
No, man.
We're so good at this. We're amazing. And modest. I think modest is probably our best quality. Humble, you know, not arrogant.
That is good there. What are you using, by the way? Oh, some Pilsen light. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty light.
Ladle, please. You got the ladle sticky in you.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be pretty sticky. All right. Checky.
Sir.
And let's see how this is. Oh, that looks good. Oi.
Nice.
Give this a good stir.
Summertime's coming, the flies are out.
All right. Give yours a quick check. I think you're doing just fine enough. Yeah, you're low 150s. Probably got about, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 minutes left on yours. So
That's what I'm thinking.
I think we'll be
We're
fine.
really close to 15 minutes. Like you said, okay, there it is, and we kind of did it.
Sorry. So anticipated is needing more time to get the tie off, but it actually went out pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
Alright.
Dude, that is, yeah. The whole warm water soap thing?
Yeah, totally gonna enjoy it.
Alright, let me do this.
Okay,
It
you
worked
do it.
really well when I did it by
You
myself.
do that,
a little
I'm
bit
gonna-
earlier.
Get these things out of here.
Are you still filming?
Yes, this whole thing is broadcasting chaos. And so the whole internet just heard you ask me that question.
Most professional broadcast.
It's okay.
Chase is actually watching.
Oh, is he outside? I know.
No.
Oh, actually, we know that, we can see it. But it's okay, don't worry about it.
Wait, it shows on his computer.
Yeah, he could see it on their thing, on his phone, or his computer. Ah,
No, he's watching it on his phone because he's with it.
cool.
Alright, so you got flame.
Flame. Try to center this guy. See if I can
My
find.
phone's upside down again.
All right.
Yeah, we got 7 minutes on this one over here. Alright, so getting to the boil.
Moving and try to center this as best possible. Just for an even distribution of flame, and because it makes the handles really hot. All right, resetting my timer for 60. Now, anybody who's been watching for a while will know that we don't hit the button now. We wait till we get to a nice even rolling boil. You don't want like an aggressive boil, but just a nice smooth rolling boil. Dude, and then you maintain that. And then we hit the timer and it goes for 60 minutes. Right away, we'll pitch the Liberty hops, correct?
Yes, Liberty hops is first, and then at the 10-minute mark, the Saz hops, and then at the 0-minute mark, we shut that one off,
Right.
and we go to wort chiller.
Wort chiller. Yeah. Which the wort chiller is prepped and ready, just so you know.
Sweet. And then over here, we're gonna do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to move kind of quick, if you think about it.
Yeah. That's why we gave ourselves a 15-minute, but actually closer to 16 or 17-minute window, so that's gonna help us.
Right, and maybe we could stall a little bit on getting this up to boil. Although you don't want to stall too much because the boil time, even without the hops and everything else in there.
It still affects the other.
Yeah,
grains,
it
you know.
changes things.
Because
This is much more difficult than you told me about.
the
I
malt
blame you.
extracts are gonna be affected by sitting in hot water.
Yeah, yep, the whole baking thing, it's got the term, which
Right.
of course don't remember.
Oh,
Don't
you
go.
always forget.
So anyways, before we had all that excitement, we're talking about the idea of alpha acid units and percentages and how that impacts things.
Maybe we're gonna have some viewers, some physical viewers.
Physical viewers?
I think so. Possibly through the window.
Behind us, viewers? All right.
That's okay.
That's all right. Really, we shouldn't get too bent about it.
No. Let me know when you're down to about 2 or 3 minutes. I'll go get your.
Okay, should be, probably got about 5 minutes for now. Anyway, dude, look at this. You know that book you have with actual paper and stuff? That's kind of like what this slide is. Like, this is chapter 5, hop measurements,
Oh wow. Okay.
by John Palmer. Who's your book by?
Charlie Papazon.
And the father of home brewing.
Pretty much.
So wait, before you go away, man. Listen
gonna
to
get
this.
the book.
I know, what, okay, go get it. Go get it. Go, you stood up, don't sit back down. Go get the book. I'll be here stalling for time. So, are you back?
I'll be back.
Thank you.
So this guy's talking about, check it out. Secondary way estimates how much of the alpha acid is isomerized and actually dissolved into the beer. The equation for the international bittering units takes the amount of hops in the AAUs, applies factors for the boil gravity, volume, and boiling time. IBUs are independent of batch size and to a large extent independent of style, unlike the AAU. IBUs are not the same as AAUs, but we knew that.
Yeah, well, an IBU, international bitterness unit, it's a result of a calculation formula. So it standardizes things across the board.
So this guy's hop resins act like oil in the water. It takes the boiling action of the wort to isomerize them, which means the chemical structure of the alpha acid compounds is altered so that the water molecules can attach, and these compounds can dissolve into the wort. The percentage of the total alpha acids that are isomerized and survive into the finished beer, i.e. utilized, is termed the utilization. Under home brewing conditions, utilization generally tops out at 30%.
So
That's deep, dude.
we'll just say it makes them water soluble.
Thank you. That
So
works.
instead of going all technical
That
on
was
it.
deep. Well, I mean, so you can go really crazy on this. Several factors in the wort boil influence the degree to which isomerization occurs. Unfortunately, how all these factors affect the utilization is complicated, not well understood. Empirical equations have been developed. Vigor of the boil, total gravity of the boil, time of the boil, several other minor factors.
Yeah, we're just brewing for fun. We don't need to go that deep into the,
I mean, I guess,
the chemistry of. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I'm a nerd. I love things like that, but I'm not interested in that level of granulation. You know?
I think it's cool too, by the way. I mean,
Well, no, me
IR
too.
smart.
Well, I know I like the idea, but I just don't have the time to learn it that in depth. Especially,
Well, and it's not,
especially when we're just brewing for fun, man.
right, it's not useful for us,
No,
you know?
it's going to be technical debt.
Yeah, it is, technical debt. If we were like brewing, it's like, we want this to taste the same.
And if we're going to try to sell our beer, you know what I mean?
Right. It's like, yeah, you need to know, maybe not all of that. I think that guy might have gone a little too deep, but you do need to know, it's like, look, this changes things, you
Right.
know? So you need to, well, like, for example, we mentioned that, am I a little bit too hot now? I turned up the heat just a little bit.
No, you're 155. You're good.
Oh, by the way, go get this stuff.
Okay.
'Cause
You're right in the middle.
I think I got like 2 minutes left now, just like you said. 1 minute and 4 seconds. All right.
All right, here is your.
Just me, or does that look weird?
It looks weird because of all the floaties in there.
Yeah, I just
It's
don't.
just the grains, what seep through the muslin.
Oh, let's see through the bag. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
right.
it's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything. Might even be, it's probably an effect also of the extract. I'm gonna get yours prepped as far as like the plastics and shit off of there. I mean, stuff. Sorry, PG-13. Actually, you can drop an S-bomb in the PG movie, at least by the American system.
Well,
One S-bomb.
I know your sister-in-law, so I know what the kid watching has heard.
Yeah, he's heard a lot worse on Fortnite YouTube videos than anything.
I gotta tell you, man. So Timo's, hey, that's time.
Take it off.
How do I hit stop? Just stop.
There you go.
Okay.
Or you're gonna have to get your spoon free first. Spoon free.
Alright, I'm gonna take this off here. See, that's darkening up after adding the
Yeah, the malt for helping.
the LME. So
Yeah, I guess this stuff, whatever, I can't remember what the grains were, but I guess they're just a very light kind of grain,
yeah, well, there are pills and something else.
Oh yeah, those are light, very light. This one is not working for me very well.
That happens every so often.
Eventually I'll get this thing. I'm not even at the camera. Struggling with this malt extract. Here we go. I'm gonna drop that in my wort.
Not in there.
That would have been bad.
But you know what? I found out we're pronouncing it incorrectly. It's not wart like a wart you get on your skin. It's wort. Wort. Like you spell it with an E, but it's spelled with an O. Weird, huh? Wort.
How many people have you ever heard pronounce it that way?
Nobody.
Like, I mean, nobody, even other brewers.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say wort.
Wow, that is really.
I've always heard the other night.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Let me give it a
Yeah,
shot, and
I'll
then
get this one started while you're working that.
maybe I'll be able to get it. What they use industrial glue on this one?
Seriously, man.
Yes, we're gonna do the knife thing.
Oh, you never found your other one, did you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
It was in the bottom of my backpack.
That's a pretty good spot for it, at least. Meaning that it was lost. That's
Exactly.
what I meant,
Well, that, no, I know
Sorry for getting a
exactly.
butt shot there.
It was not lost. This is really nice because I like that knife.
Yeah. That was your old knife you used to fly, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Stickiness beyond all belief. This is a disaster.
You would call that like you just, it's part of the job.
Occupational hazard?
Yeah, something like that. In that same context. It's an occupational hazard, man. Do a little shaky, shaky.
Quiet. Hush you. These obviously didn't sit in warm water as long as the others did.
No, or that or the water, lost all its, heat, so it's kind of made it not as runny.
Yeah.
Well, these were the plastic ones, so it didn't insulate as well as that.
Right.
What the pot did, All right.
Ladle, please.
Well, here you go.
Wait. Hold on. Nothing matters. Everything's sticky now. The stickiness has descended.
All right, I'm gonna Here's your lid. I'll put it right here for you.
Okay.
Clean up a little bit. I'm a very clean as you go type, so.
You
don't
can
notice
probably,
that.
you know what else you could do?
What's up?
Number one, take this label from me because I'm done with it. And then we can put this back on the flame.
Okay.
And I don't think we have to worry about scorching. Right
No,
now.
I think, yeah, you're definitely good on yours. All right.
We'll just leave that flame at that level for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean up a little
Did you
bit.
turn yours down?
No.
Oh, no, it's just,
It's going good.
good to go. Now my hands are all sticky. There's things everywhere. I hate this part. I hate this part. Hate it with a passion. When he's in there cleaning, I can't even wash my hands. All right, so time to get up to boil. Stir this for a bit. His is getting a lot closer. Steve's is the other one. So the control batch, that's Steve's batch, is the control batch. Getting closer. Cool. I'm gonna go wash the molasses off my hands. Wait, where are you going?
I was gonna bring out something to wipe off, because you've got sticky stuff all over it. I don't want to stick something on it, but that's all right.
Let's do that. I'll stir here, and then I'll wash my hands. I think that's a good idea. Yeah. There's molasses all over that. In fact, could you grab this little pocket knife? You're getting close right there, so.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
I'll clean your knife off and I'll grab whatever else.
Okay, I'll be here. All right, sweet.
All right.
Now, you stole
Nice
it.
clean kniff.
Just put it there, because it will not be clean after I touch it.
All right.
Undo
You
everything.
mind taking this in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. All right, well. It's getting awfully froggy, interestingly.
So much better.
Looking good.
So much better.
Right, no sticky hands.
Yeah.
All right.
Sticky hands suck.
There were no dry malts for this one, huh? No dry malts for this one? Dry
No.
malt extracts?
No, just the 6.6 pounds of LME.
Yeah.
This is one. This is kind of fun, dude. I mean, it sucks that we have to wait a month to drink this.
That's right.
Oh, flavor memory. Let's talk about flavor memory, like 20 minutes ago or however long ago. This is a while ago. So that's why we're doing 2 batches. Because
Right.
Trevor mentioned, he's like, well, you know what that tastes like? And I'm like, no, I don't
forgot.
really. I've forgotten. I know I liked it, but that doesn't mean I know what it tasted like.
I cut myself somewhere.
So,
Anyway.
ow.
Sorry. That's sorry.
You want me to kiss it better?
No.
Okay.
In fact, don't ever say that again.
So, how's your beer?
Tasty.
Good. Anyways, it's like, so I don't have a flavor memory. So the whole idea is like, we're doing neck and neck. We're trying to get as close. We offset a little bit. Like, we're going to try and get his boil going first and do things that way. He can go chill his in the wort chiller first. And then we're going to do this one next. This one's going to have the hops added at the very end. And then we're going to taste them at the same time. And the goal of that is to be able to tell the difference. And it's like, this is the difference. And then later on, we could do this recipe that we're making now with the citra hops.
If we like it, yeah.
And
It tastes terrible. We don't know yet.
I don't think it will, though.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. We've been very pleased.
There's
with
only
our
a few
beers.
beers in the world that I've drank that actually I would classify as terrible.
You ever have a ginger beer?
I don't think I've had a ginger beer, no.
I did not like it. I've only had one. I did not like it at all. It was by this. It had a bulldog. It was a red bulldog on the can, and it just was. I actually drain poured it, and I don't drain pour beer.
Wasn't there an American beer or something, Red Dog or something like that back in the day? Yeah.
Maybe Red Dog made a ginger
I
beer.
don't know.
All I know is this stuff was just awful. I was like, oh, this is gross. It was not good. Not good at all. How's your beer?
Smells good.
How's your beer, Steve?
Yeah, that beer. What beer?
Ah, good. You want to do the growler in there that I brought over, which is the same beer but a fresher pour,
Refresher pour. Yeah.
or do you want to do the IPA?
Let's do one IPA and try to kill that keg. Because I think it's about dead now.
You think it's about dead? Yeah, let's kill the keg.
And then we'll switch over to growler.
Yeah. Well, we need to drink the growler because I brought it.
Right.
And stuff.
Or
So
you know what, if you rather just attack the growler, that's fine with me too.
No, let's. No, I really think killing the keg is a good idea.
Because you made a good point. You did bring over the drink, so.
Right. Well, that's okay, man. We're at the boil point. So
Like,
now we got an hour after that.
Like, I know it'd break your heart if you had to take that beer home, so.
I would be upset. I mean,
Totally upset.
is there a way to put more sarcasm in the comments we're making right now?
Yeah.
I don't think there is. So, I gotta tell you, you know what I want to do? So, you know that Pascha's next week, right?
Yeah.
For those of you that are not, it's on the other side of the growler. For those of you that are not Orthodox, I am Orthodox, Orthodox Christian, and Orthodoxy does not celebrate Easter at the same time as pretty much the rest of the world. Which is interesting because Orthodoxy is the second largest piece of Christianity out there. So it's more accurate to say that Protestants don't celebrate Easter at the same time as the rest of the world. What was that?
Good bottle opener.
You gonna hit that up to 30?
No. I'm just trying to get some pressure in it. Just, so it, you know, 'cause remember I'm carbonating it here, so.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is go ahead and pounce it up to 30, dude. Like, I would still heavy charge. Is that the one is that all hissing all going into the
IPA.
IPA or the,
The IPA.
what about the red beer?
Red beer is what I started, it's at 30 right now. So in a few hours, I'm gonna crank it down to like 12.
Okay.
24 hours.
You only do 24 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes 48, depending.
I think I did like 48 last time. Like, I let it sit at 30, 35 for a while, and then I finally chilled it down to 12. Of course, you know my history with carbonation. I royally suck at carbonation, so I guess taking advice from me is kind of a dumb idea. Now,
I'm just going by what the books say, man. I got to.
maybe I should read the book. Now, I have a question.
What's up?
Okay, so the question is, why did you walk over there, pour 2 beers, and then come back over here and sit down without the beers? I'm just wondering, maybe you have a reason. I am always open to the idea that you might have a reason.
I can't even blame it on being buzzed because I think that beer we were drinking is very
Pretty
low,
much
man.
non-alcoholic.
I have no clue.
Go get the beers!
If that doesn't say bonehead, I don't know what does.
This is so much fun, man.
All right, here you go.
It's got to be one of the greatest every 2-week pastimes there is. Everybody should do this. All of you, go buy brew kits and broadcast your beers experiencing.
There we go. That's yummy.
That is really good. Wow, it's bitter.
It is a very bitter IPA,
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not as hoppy as you would think it would be.
yeah, it's like there's a lot of. Well, how many hops went into this one? Do you remember?
4.
4. There's a 4-hop schedule.
4 schedule, no dry hopping. It was all within the hour, so.
Was there a big chunk right at the beginning?
There was one at 60 minutes, I think one at 30, one at like 10, and like one at 1 or 0, I think is what it was, something like that. Actually, you know what? I have the recipe right here.
Oh,
I gotta have it. So,
nice.
I've been saving all that stuff just for whatever.
This is why I hang out with Steve, because he's good at this stuff. He saves things, he documents, he knows what we did. Takes pictures of beers, he remembers things. I don't. Every day is a new experience. Every day. It's like, oh, I'm awake. Wow. Hey, look, baby, the sun came out. Does that happen every day?
What? We landed on the moon! So, at 60 minutes, it took a Columbus hops, 1 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
At 30, 1 ounces of Chinook hops. At 15, I was off a little bit, 1 ounce of Zythos or Simcoe. I think we had Simcoe.
Wait, let me see.
It's either or. We had Simcoe hops in ours.
I know we had Simcoe because we tried to go with the Zythos.
He didn't have any.
Right. And then
All
the
right.
Falconer's Flight at 0 minutes.
All right.
Wow.
What was my first hop? Liberty, right?
Liberty. Liberty is the first one that you want.
All
All right, now wait.
I need your kniff
Okay, slow down, slow down.
because I'm boiling.
That's good, but remember,
I know.
we have a history of boiling over, so we're coming off the heat. Step back to them. Boy, you're really boiling. You
Yeah, I'm gonna bring my heat down a
You might
little
want
bit.
to turn it down a little bit. All right. Whoa. Careful, careful. All right. We're okay. All right, here we go. All right, we can probably go back on. I got it. It's not too bad.
Well, bring my heat down a little bit. All right, let me get started.
All right, start your timer.
And boom.
What were we talking about? Oh,
We
Pasca.
were looking at the recipe for.
All right. Which
And I
we were
didn't finish
just.
getting off everything yet,
Well, you did, because I stole it from you. It's the several different types of hop.
but I didn't finish the last hop. You took it from me.
Oh,
So we did at 15 minutes we did Simcoe, and then the last at the 0 minute was Falconers. So, and then there was no dry hopping in this case. All right,
that looks pretty good.
that's a nice boil right there. No, that doesn't be in there.
So this is how the vitriol of the boil that guy in the book was talking about. You know. Excuse me. Excuse me again. So we want to keep these boils as close as possible. That's getting a little energetic.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn down a little bit.
You're kind of crossing the line from rolling into roiling.
Right.
You know, it's only one letter, but you might want to do that again. That is really energetic. You're not turning it the wrong way, are you?
Yours increases going that way. Mine does not. It's weird.
Okay.
I was supposed to turn the heat button on.
Are we baking beer? Wives, children, lives other than beer.
Okay. Now we're good.
Got it?
Good to go. So yeah, you were talking about pasta. You had a spray.
I was talking about pasta,
So
wasn't
pasta.
I?
Yeah.
Before we got into the whole hops things going. So what I was gonna say is I want to bring beer and pasta, right? Because last pasta was of course pretty much taken away because of the whole COVID thing.
Right.
So this time around, we're allowed to do it again because, you know, they just decided religious services can go forward, and so this is part of our religion. So anyways, it's going to be a pretty big party, and I need to be bringing some beer to this big party. So hopefully you'll have that red carbonated pretty good, because that'll be about a week. And then I might even throttle back on what I got down there. So maybe if I could bring like a couple gallons of the red, or a couple growlers of the red, and get a growler or two of mine. So bring 3 growlers down, because I won't be the only person there, right? But you gotta have stuff to share. That's the whole idea. You bring all these foods that you haven't eaten all of Lent. Look up Orthodox Lent if you want to, and you'll find out what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it's gonna be a party. I gotta figure out how to get music down there. If we didn't have music, I think music would help.
Oh, okay.
Listen to a whole bunch of Greek Opa songs.
Opa!
Well, everybody, whenever people think about Eastern Orthodoxy, they think of Greek.
Yeah. They automatically refer to Greek. Yeah.
It's like, obviously it's Greek. No, there's a lot of different forms.
Yeah, that's a good boil right there, man. Nice.
I wonder if I should turn mine up and try and catch up. Well, I don't need to catch up too much.
No, not really, because I'm gonna be chilling mine.
Yeah.
We don't want to try to chill at the same time. You know?
No, that's the whole idea of like differentiating
Right.
things.
In about 30 minutes, I'm gonna go back inside and pull all the stuff out of the sanitization and get that rinsed and ready. Like, you know, the water locks and the stoppers and bubbles and all that stuff, and the funnel, all the things we need. I like to fill a sink with cold water with bleach and just let that stuff soak pretty much at the start of the brew process. By the time we get done brewing, it's nice and sanitized and we can move forward. So
Cool. Can you stall for 5 minutes while I step off camera?
yeah,
All right. Shoot, dude. Ow.
you should move towards me a little bit. Okay, man?
So, yeah, I am okay.
That's the second time you've hit that. So.
Yeah, but that's not bad. Did I tell you about that time where I sliced my head open on the ship?
No.
Oh,
Or you might have, but we were
I'm
drinking.
sure. Yeah, we were drinking.
You're probably
I don't
drinking, so I
remember.
don't remember.
I don't remember. No, so you know airframers, right? They bend metal and they think they can build things out of metal. It doesn't mean they can, it means they think they can. And sometimes they do some dumb things. So, you know, when you're on the carrier, the ship's company kind of shoves the air wing into random spaces. Here's a spot between a wall and a wall.
You can fit.
You can fit.
You'll make it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, work out of here. It's like, this is, my closet at home is smaller than is bigger than this. In any case, there's a shelf in one of the spaces someone had built, and it had a sharp edge, like pointy edge, and it's made out of metal. And I came up and hit that thing, and I didn't know that it was right. Bam! Oh! I was like, damn, that hurt. And I was swearing, because I was in the Navy, so I was allowed to swear like a sailor.
I'm like a sailor.
Oh, yes, I was. And I was just going off. I'm like, and of course I'm the LPO of the shop at the time, and they're like, "Hey, Juan, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I just banged my head, and then one of the guys said, "Hey, Juan, I don't think you're okay." I'm like, "Why?" And then I feel this hot stickiness rolling down my nose. Yeah, blood all over my face. I'm like, "Ah, that hurt." I'm going to medical. Go fix an airplane. You know, I'm walking through the ship, and people are looking at me because I just walked through. You know, I didn't call. No, medical emergency, medical. It's like, no, I'm fine. I'm going to walk down to medical.
I'm capable of walking.
Yes, and I really hope that they'll see me quickly, or at least give me a washcloth or something. Dude, that's looking really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
So anyways, I would like to bring 3 growlers of beer, and I think I can pull it off, like, because I think that one will be ready enough by then. For one
You said it's next week?
Yeah, Sunday. Actually, Saturday at midnight.
I think it'll be drinkable by Saturday night, Sunday,
It
whatever.
would have to be Saturday because services start at 10:30 p.m.
Okay.
and then they go till like 1 or so, you know. So, yeah. Sweet, dude. I'm gonna step off camera and then I'll be right back.
Alrighty. So, well, while he's off camera, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I consider to be homebrewing dogma.
Dogma. Dogma.
I'm sure there's people out there who will disagree, but yeah, that's the beauty of being us. You know, we can all disagree with each other, so get along. So earlier I mentioned Charlie Papazian. Obviously, I was butchering his name, so if you ever see the broadcast, Charlie, I apologize for butchering your name. Charlie Papazian, and he is the author of The Complete Joy of Homebrewing. And I don't have a monitor to see how we're looking here, so I hope you guys can see that. Apologize. I don't have my live monitor is frozen, so I'm not seeing how close I am. But this is actually the previous edition. I believe there's a 4th edition out now, which probably just has some updated recipes and maybe some of the processes. But anyway, he is pretty much credited with bringing, you know, home brewing to the masses, at least in the United States. And I can't speak, you know, to other nations, but I want to say late 70s, early 80s was when he first, I think, started publishing. And this thing is great, especially for the brand new brewer. Besides, it incrementally teaches you stuff, so you can read the first chapter or 2 and learn some very basics and even make your very first beer. And then later on, when you're getting, you know, a little more experience, you're feeling like branching out more, you can read the intermediate chapters, which is kind of what we do here with the, excuse me, I gotta fix this. Boil this. Boy, a little too much. Hey, your timer is ready to go off.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go and put your hops in. Hold that thought. You're boiling, so.
All right. I'll be right there.
I'm gonna pull yours off the heat right now, real quick. You definitely were. You were like aggressive boil.
Aggressively boiling?
Okay, we need your knife again.
Where is my knife?
Hopefully your pocket. It never was.
Never was.
Alright, ready?
Yeah. You should be able to go for it.
Yeah.
So the reason we're careful about that, for you new viewers out there, is we may have.
You got it right.
Oh wow, that's hot.
Yeah.
You need
We have an app for that.
You have an app for oven mitts.
Metaphorical app.
Continue with Charlie's book. I'll take care of mine.
Okay. So as I was saying about Charlie's book, this book is ideal for a brand new brewer or even experienced brewer. Brewers of all levels of experience, I think, would gain from this book. Unless you're Charlie himself, because he wrote it, but it incrementally takes you from very basic brewing to the advanced, you know, levels of brewing. Excuse me, something's tickling my throat. Guess I better drink more beer.
That's my solution.
To all grain brewing, and he discusses the chemistry, but he doesn't put you to sleep with it. He gives you just enough so that you can understand a conversation or have a conversation
with someone else who does understand the chemistry, or at least maybe be part of the conversation, but he doesn't put you to sleep with it. You're just not going, oh my goodness, I don't care about X, Y, and Z.
Isomerization.
He talks about it in here, but he doesn't go as detailed as your guy went. The guy you looked up.
Vitriol of the boil.
Yeah.
That guy did go pretty deep.
But I think this is this book is ideal for anybody, and it has tons of recipes in it too. A good section is recipes. And you can take these recipes and brew them exact, or you can modify them however you want. That's kind of the joy of homebrewing. You can do what you want, literally. He has another book called, I can't remember the full title, but it's something in the lines of the Homebrewing Companion. It's kind of the part 2 of this book, where I believe it has more recipes and maybe some pretty advanced techniques in it, I believe. I've yet to buy it, but I will buy it. It's on my list. So anyway, highly recommended. Yeah, Amazon has it. I believe I've even seen the 4th edition on Amazon. So I bought mine from a local brew supply store. So if you have a brew supply in your area, you can probably find it there if you don't want to order it online. But anyway, give it a shot.
You need to write a book called The Tao of Brewing.
The Tao of Brewing, huh?
Just because a book needs to exist with that title.
Yeah,
I don't know
we can do
anything about Tao.
I don't either.
It's
We'll have to consult.
not a religion, is it?
Tao, I thought it was based on Taoism.
Yeah, but it's more philosophy than
Yeah,
it is
you're right.
religion.
Yeah, I don't believe it's a deity thing. I believe you're right. It's a philosophy of how to do stuff. You know what I mean? So probably we could write a Tao of Brewing.
Well, they wrote a book, The Tao of Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, but it was just called The Tao of Pooh.
And I was like, what?
Which you can't.
Why would you do that?
If you think about the way that Xi Jinping thinks of Winnie the Pooh, and Tao is a Chinese thing,
Probably totally.
and Tao of Pooh or Dao, I think it's actually pronounced Dao. It's more of a D sound.
I wouldn't be surprised
Does
if
anyone know out
if they
there?
were trying to troll him then, because for anybody who doesn't
No,
know,
the Tao of Pooh is a very old book, like before he
it is?
before
Okay,
he came
okay.
into power. It's
I was just like, are they
okay.
trolling this guy? Because apparently the Chinese president hates Winnie the Pooh with a passion. Like that character is banned from his country.
Something because he looks like him?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't think he looks like Winnie the Pooh. Where do we get this Winnie?
There was some picture that went around the internet. I don't know if it was doctored, but there was some picture of him that had a striking resemblance to Winnie the Pooh, man. Just the body shape and stuff. Again, I don't know if it was doctored to do that, but it definitely pissed him off, from what I understand.
Well, it made him angry. All right.
If anybody ever watches South Park, there's some references to that in the, I think it's called the Pandemic Special. So, of course, pretty funny, but very insulting episode for anybody out there, especially if you're Chinese, probably, or at least the government.
I'm just fiddling with my.
Did you ever get your timer going?
I did start the timer. I did indeed.
Yeah, I have 45 minutes on mine, so we're about roughly 15 minutes apart, which is fine. I think it's enough time, because it only takes like what, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes with that work chiller now. That thing is freaking sweet.
If that, dude.
That thing is sweet.
It is like.
We're not even using the first stage appropriately in the sense we're not using the ice bucket for it. We're just
using.
using
water, right?
water, yeah. And then the water itself is running through the garden hose, which is cold water. Maybe in the summer months when it actually gets really hot outside, well, hot for the Northwest, we might consider ice bucketing it, but whatever. Maybe not. Maybe we don't need to. So eventually I'll get that other book by Charlie Papazian. I'm saying his name correctly now. The Homebrewer's Companion or something, or Companion, which is
Papazian?
Papazian, yeah.
How do you spell it?
Papazin, Papazian. So I'm going to get his other book because it has more of the advanced techniques, and I believe there's supposed to be more recipes in it. I want to say he's written 3 books total. Can't quite remember. He's also the founder of, I'm going to screw up the initials, but like the American Homebrewers Association, which is still a thing. It's still going on. He's like the founder, and I'm not sure if he still runs or leads it. I mean, I'm not a member of it or anything, but but anyway, he's prominent in the homebrew world. He's considered the person that brought it to the masses. To made it easy for all of us to do.
I'm comparing our boils.
So sorry to be rude, but sometimes I have to.
Is this where I need to give you the look?
Yeah.
That was so good, the very first broadcast.
Yeah, I don't mean to be rude, but sometimes I have to take these texts.
You know what? We just need to embrace how this broadcast runs, man. We got kids coming
We got
in
kids,
and
we
out.
got
It's like,
flies, we got, yeah,
like,
that's what it is, man. We're just
as long as we can
regular,
flow with it, it's cool.
we're just regular American dudes making beer, man, so.
And having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I don't want to bring 3 gallons of beer because it's cool.
Yeah, you should, man. If you need to borrow a growler or two, just take them, it's fine. I mean, I
Well, I've
did
got
have,
2 at home. You used to have 3.
I used to have 3. I broke a growler. Not because I dropped it or anything. I was returning from Jamie's house and I had an empty one and then a full one. They were laying on in the seat of the passenger seat of my truck, and they were kind of rolling a little bit here and there, but I didn't think much of it. Well, I took a left turn somewhere, and the empty one rolled and stopped against the door, and the full one rolled into it with that extra weight and broke it. It was interesting though, is it broke and then kind of caved in itself. So.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Remember how you said we need steins?
Steins, yeah.
We need to get our own growlers.
Oh yeah, there's
Brewmeisters.
there is a company out there that would do that stuff. They
Yeah.
mainly their main customers are like corporations that have like summits and stuff, and they'll do like themed coffee mugs and growlers and T-shirts and towels.
Will they do just one-offs though?
I don't know.
A lot of times companies
batch,
like
too.
that, it's
By
like,
batch,
of course, we'd love to make you 7,000 growlers.
But you have to buy a 500. What?
No,
No.
we need 500
You
growlers.
should probably find someone that might do one-offs. Might be a little bit more expensive, because they're gonna have to design a logo or at least copy the logo, whatever.
I will design the logo.
Well, they're gonna have to import it into their software, and whatever.
Right, I know, but
Probably tweak it a little bit.
I can design. I'm the artsy fartsy guy. You're the technological techno geek. I'm the artsy fartsy guy.
Right.
Artsy
So that's
fartsy.
fine. You design the logo, and if we can find someone who'll do like a minimum batch, maybe hopefully no more than like 10.
That'd be cool. Can we ride for the Tim on the back?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean that's our thing, man.
That's kind of we don't say it enough.
Anybody watching's like, who's the Tim?
The Tim.
It's the Tim.
It's the Tim. We ride for the Tim. It's more than just this guy Tim that we know, who happens to be my
Happen to
dad.
be his father. The Tim is a great man. We
But-
love hanging out and drinking beer with the Tim.
Oh my god, it's so much fun drinking beer with my dad. But tell you, we ride for the Tim means a lot more. It's taken on this whole thing. So
It's lived with us ever since it was said,
yeah, it's stuck. That's what I meant. All right, so we might as well tell the backstory now.
Let me say something real quick though. There was one time I had texted your dad for something. It was a long time ago, and he wrote back. I think you know what it was. I think when COVID had first hit
Mm-hmm.
and nobody was traveling, I think I had texted to say hi and ask him how they were doing. And
Mm-hmm.
he had said, "Oh, we're doing great. Glad to hear from you." And he was like, "Yeah, you guys have fun, drink beer, and ride for the Tim." He's like, "Oh wait, I am the Tim." I mean, I obviously had to be there to read it, but I was like, "That is funny."
You know where he gets that?
Uh-uh.
That's not as much as I love my dad. That's not original.
Watch your head. Yeah. What?
I will ground myself there. No,
Where does that come from?
Madagascar.
Oh,
Believe it or not.
the cartoon movie, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So there's the little mirror. What are the things on Madagascar Island?
Those meerkats or something like
They're
that.
not meerkats.
Oh.
They're
like gopher type things or something.
what are they? I wish we had more viewers who were scientifically minded that would like put comments on there saying, "It's this, you idiots!"
I know, right? Oh, you dummies! You even have kids. You don't know this stuff.
Anyways, it's not a meerkat.
Something similar. It's one of those things that kind of go whoop, right? They pop up and
No, those are meerkats.
Okay.
That's Lion King.
oh yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
And
Power-
we shall consult the bones.
Why do we do this, man? We got the power of the internet.
And we sit there and look at each other and go, I don't know.
3, 4 devices that will tap into it.
I know, right? What is wrong with us?
But no, we just sit here and say, "What is this thing?"
And look at each other like the
Oh,
other person,
no.
like the other person can instantly know,
What? And animal? I'm just gonna go. What animal is King Julian?
Oh, that kind of monkey-like creature that we were talking about, right?
Lemurs.
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 Lemurs. So in any case, so at one point in Madagascar, the Fusa are coming, right? And so King Julian is like, shh, be quiet, do that. Who's still making that noise? Oh, it's me. That's where my dad comes.
Okay.
That's, I mean, he adapts it very well, but
Yeah,
that's where he gets it. It's the whole thing. It's like, ride for the Tim. Who is Tim? Oh, it's me. It's like,
Wait, I am the Tim.
so, my father was a band teacher in his hometown, or well, not really my hometown, in the last town, the town that he happens to live in. Now, we moved around a lot when I was a kid, almost as much as a military family, and yet we were not. But, so we moved around a lot. So in the last town that my dad was in, he became pretty successful as a band teacher, and very well known, like, to this day.
Like newspaper articles are written about him. People recognize James. They're like, oh,
I get
son.
free stuff when I go to, and this is like a 300,000 person town, so it's not like a little bitty 2,000 person town, right? This is a big town.
Oh yeah, your dad taught my dad. You know?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, your dad taught my dad, type deal, or your dad taught my kids. And stuff. In any case, so it's pretty well known. Well, of course, in a larger town, a larger school district, you will have lots of band teachers, and my dad knows them all. And for some reason, they all hang out, and I would go home, and something would happen, and my dad's like, yeah, I know someone. And he'd call one of his retired band buddies, and this guy'd meet me on a mountain in the middle of nowhere. He's like, hey, your dad called. He said you need some help. Yeah.
Who are you?
No, I know most of them. You know, it wasn't so much who are you, but. So anyways, that led to this joke related to Anchorman, the movie, if you've seen Anchorman, the movie, where he blows the conch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Remember? He's like, news anchors to me, and they're like, we've been here the whole time, dude. You know? But that's the whole joke. It's like, what ho? Who do you ride for? We ride for the Tim. So we were probably drunk when we came up with Ride for the Tim, but now it actually has some gravitas. And so that's one of our mottos. We ride for the Tim. And that basically means it's drinking night.
Right.
But there's more to it. At least I want there to be more to it. I'm not
You'll
sure.
learn more in future broadcasts.
And basically, we're going to develop this, and we'll make up some really good BS about this saying. And
Fun, dude.
Eventually, you'll all be saying it, and you'll be wearing the merch.
If we can get if we get a minimum of 3 growlers, one for you, one for your Tim, the Tim.
My Tim, the Tim.
I was thinking your dad and Tim at the same time. one for the Tim, one for you, one for me.
That'd be awesome.
Minimum. If not, we can get more. Who knows, man?
Well, we should get at least 6, because you need 2 growlers at least. Think about it.
Oh yeah.
1 growler's not enough.
No.
Because you forget your growler.
Forget it. You don't have another one.
Yeah. Or it rolls up against the door,
Or you
you're
break
breaking it, breaks, and then you need another one.
You need another growler.
Right. Yeah, we need to do this. How you doing?
35 minutes. So I'm going to step off camera for a minute and get the sanitizer for a
We're
minute.
gonna do the
I'm
sanitization.
going to get the hose hooked up and just kind of get everything ready for that. Even though it's still 35 minutes, it'll go quick as we talk and enjoy the broadcast with you all. So
Yeah.
I'll be back.
So 10 minutes is when we do hot pack of 2.
Yeah. So I have about 20 minutes then.
Yeah. I'll keep on top of it though.
Oh yeah, I know. There you go.
All right. So let's throw my glasses on, and what else should we talk about here? It's a lot easier when we're just BSing here, and now I got to talk about beer again. I love beer. Beer is a good thing. Let's go back. So, we were talking about AAUs, so let's look up some more things. That last guy was actually pretty good. howtobrew.com/book/section1. That was actually, he went way deep, but if you're into that sort of stuff, there's howtobrew.com comes up again. What are alpha acids, AAUs, HBUs, and IBUs? Let's jump on midwestsupplies.com. This is one of their blogs. Let's see what these folks have to say about alpha acids. All right. Oh, this is kind of broken down nicely. This is a nice thing. a couple years old, October 25th, 2019. Alpha acid resins only contribute to the bitterness of the beer. Occurring naturally in the lupulin gland on the hop cone, they are not very soluble in water. The reason that beer hops must be boiled is because the heat of boiling water creates a condition that allows a chemical reaction called isomerization. So we've got 3 areas. This website, the last website, and then Steve's book by Charlie Papazian. Anyways, to occur, which makes the alpha acid resins soluble in water. Okay, so we got that. AAU stands for alpha acid unit. We got that. It's a measurement of the potential bitterness in hops. The percentage of alpha acid in a given sample of hops multiplied by the weight of ounces in that sample. Alpha acid. Oh, that's a bad sentence. I hate it when they write bad sentences. All right, it doesn't. Okay. 1 ounce of hops with an alpha acid content of 1% contains 1 AAU, or 0.01 ounce of alpha acid. That makes sense. HBU stands for homebrew bitterness units, and is another unit by which homebrewers can determine how much hops to use. Homebrew bitterness units equals the percent alpha acid of hops multiplied by the quantity in ounces of hops used. So if our hops have a 5% alpha acid and we use 1 ounce, well, they give an example anyways. If, for example, a recipe of given volume of beer calls for 2 ounces of 5% alpha acid Cascade hops, it is equal to 10 HBUs. Okay. If your Cascade hops are only 4% alpha acid, you will know to use 10 HBU, comma, 4% equals 2.5 ounces of hops. In other words, to get to your 10 HBU, which is what you want to do, you've got to use enough hops to get there. Or if you wish to use another variety of hops, say Centennial hops at 10%, you know to use 10 HBU is 10% equals 1 ounce of Centennial hops. Got it. So basically, it's a really good way of measuring how bitter you want your beer to be, or more precisely, controlling how bitter you want your beer to be. Now, me and Steve, at this point, we're not really into this. For one thing, we don't make the same beer 2 weeks in a row. You know, we make an Irish red. We made an Irish red last week. We made a cream ale the week before. I think we made a stout the week before. We are all over the map. So with that in mind, this isn't something that's super important to us, but it's kind of interesting. Because, you know, at some point we might say, I want to make exactly this beer. And actually that is not so much for me, because I'm not particular at all. However, my wife, she knows what beer she likes and she knows what beer she doesn't like. And so if I had good documentation, I'd be like, what do you think of this? She's like, I like that beer. I'm like, that's the one we use. And we want to know our alpha acid units, and we want to, you know, all this fun stuff so that I can reproduce that beer exactly, and my wife is happy. And a happy wife is a happy life. You guys know this. Let's continue learning. All right. IBU stands for International Bitterness Units. 1 bitterness unit is equal to 1 milligram of isomerized alpha acid in 1 liter of wort or beer. Okay, we just had an interesting conversation. We say wort because it looks like wort, W-O-R-T. I know no one who calls it wort, but Steve was just saying that the proper pronunciation of that word is wort. Anyone have any feedback? If so, go ahead. You know what? This is on Twitter and Facebook, so you can leave comments after the broadcast if you're not here. Feel free to do this, or leave a comment now. Let me know. That would be cool. In fact, I'll check and see if there's been any comments. Nope, no new comments. Okay, so we're good with that. Anyways, back to that. 1 milligram of isomerized alpha acid in 1 liter of wort or beer, or 1 part per million isomerized alpha acid. All right, we're doing good here. This is a system of measuring bitterness devised by brewing scientists and is an accepted standard throughout the world. Homebrewers usually do not have the sophisticated equipment to measure actual BUs, and often use the system of HBUs to closely approximate the desired bitterness in their beer, which is absolutely true. I ain't gonna spend $15,000 on equipment just so I can tell you how bitter my beer is. Not gonna happen. Unless I'm making money with the stuff, which I don't plan on doing for a while. This is a fun hobby that I do, and it produces beer that I like to drink. Don't want to turn it into a job. All right, so we talked about that. The simplest formula for attempting to predict IBUs is to use a sliding scale, depending on boil time, as a best guess for utilization, and use a constant to convert AAU into parts per million. A fairly accurate ballpark figure to use for your home brewing hop utilization value based on a 1 hour boil would be 23-25%, or 0.23, 0.25, respectively. Translates into IBU equals your AAUs times 74.4, comma, wort volume in gallons times utilization percentage. IBU equals AAU times 7.4 times V times U. IBU equals 5.7.4, comma, 5 times 2.5 equals 18.6 IBU. That's weird how he writes that. That is some math that I'm not familiar with.
What on earth are you doing?
So, yeah.
Look down.
Is this English? Like British English?
Oh, maybe it's rainwater.
Totally don't know.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, let's go a little deep on the AAUs. But it's nice because, you know, you say IBU, ABU, HBU, all these U things. The end result is, can you make your beer taste the same way every time? That's really what all this boils down to. Can you make the beer taste the same every time? You've made a beer, you've done things, you really like the way it tastes. Can you make it happen again? And that's what the documentation is all about. Something I suck at, but something I need to do. So today, we're going to document things. And where the documentation is going to come into play, and I need to talk about this with Steve as soon as he gets back from doing all the sanitization and stuff, we need to talk about the idea that we need to document how long this sat and stuff so that we know, because I think we're going to have a little bit of, the idea is that you pitch the Citra hops at 0 minutes and start to chill. Well, if we got to take it off the fire and just let it sit for a few minutes, but we pitch the 0 hops, it'd be good to know how many minutes did we let it sit for, instead of, you know, like we didn't get to chill it right away because maybe the wort chill is going here. I don't know. So on my boil, I've got, let me check here. I've got 36 minutes and 35 seconds left on mine. What do you got on yours since you just walked back in?
25 and 47.
Okay, so we've actually got quite a bit of time. We're doing
Everything-
all right.
Everything is ready. Everything's prepped as far as all the bungs and the water locks and all that good stuff. The funnel. The wort chiller is set up. The hose is hooked up.
Good deal. Good deal.
So all that's left is just time. And
Nice.
getting low on beer. How you doing?
I was talking a lot. I was talking about AAUs and IBUs and HBUs. A lot of U's.
HDUs and
Yeah,
whatever. What's an HDU?
HBU.
Oh, HBU.
Hotel Bravo uniform.
Ah.
Sailor.
What is HBU?
Home brewing bitterness unit.
Oh yeah. Actually, I read about that in the book. I forgot about that.
But what I was mentioning at the end is, you know what, the real purpose of all these units and things and this math and stuff is just to make the beer taste the same every time.
Yeah.
And you know what else I mentioned?
Plus, it makes a standard language across the board.
Well, yeah, but the purpose of the tool, it's not so much the language so we can talk about
Tool,
these things,
yeah.
but it's to make the beer taste the same. So if you brew a beer and your wife says, I love that, you can make it again next week.
And that's why you should write it down.
Yes.
Write down what you
And I was
did.
mentioning that a lot of this stuff hasn't been useful to us because we haven't made the same beer 1 week in a row.
That we have recipes. So we're not
Well, yeah, we do have recipes.
we're not experimenting. We do exactly what, as long as we
follow the recipe close enough, it's going to be pretty similar every time.
But I'm just saying, if you make a stout on the 1st, and on the 14th, you make a cream ale,
right?
It's like, you're not making the same beer at all. You're not replicating anything.
No.
And so for us, it hasn't been important. But it would be, like, this will be something. I was also mentioning one thing we need to document right here is if there's any delays, like we throw yours on the chiller, right? And I hit the end of my boil before the chiller's, I can get to the chiller.
Right.
And so we have to wait. So we kill the heat and we throw the citra hops in. We need to know how many minutes did it sit.
Right.
Not chilled, but
chilled.
Not boiling either.
Still kind of doing its thing, even though it wasn't on the heat,
Because that would be good to know, because we won't be able to replicate that beer again if we don't know how many minutes did it sit in there.
But that's why we staggered it, so we minimize any downtime,
Right. How many minutes do you got on yours?
I have 23 minutes remaining on mine.
And I've got 33, so we got 10 minutes. Well, actually, I have 34 because that's 47. I don't know how close you were with that.
That's right, man.
So we got 11 minutes to get your beer cooled enough
which is achievable.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Easily achievable.
That works. Hey, sweetie.
So,
It's my friend Riley, who does not want to be on camera. Love you, sweetie. Mwah.
So that's gonna go to the wort chiller. I give it 8 minutes to be chilled. And I'm gonna go ahead and set up the carboy here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So all I gotta do is just take it to the chiller and go right to the carboy.
Sounds good. But the big thing is just the chiller is freed up so that I can chill my beer. That's the one.
Speaking of, how is your beer?
This beer?
How is your beer?
Shut up, punk. I'll catch up.
He's chugging.
Says the guy drinking out of a Bud Light glass. Where'd that come from? Oh wait, it's mine.
Yeah, all this stuff is yours. Why do you even own this?
Which, by the way, came from your auntie.
Are you
Why do
making
you
fun
even
of what
let-
she drinks?
So,
They like Bud Light. It's fine.
I know, it's okay.
No, it's not.
No, it's
It's not.
To be honest, martinis are better.
It's not even close to a beer. What are you
I
talking
don't
about?
care.
Martinis, my daughter says.
Yes.
Martinis and
Steve, can we talk about why your 13-year-old daughter knows
I know.
that
How do you
martinis
know
are
a
better?
martini is better?
Can
We said it
talk
needs
about
alcohol.
this?
You can actually get a plain one with
All
just
jokes
beer.
aside, no, I don't give her real martinis, but she likes making fake martinis with the mix. You
It's
can buy off the shelf, just non-alcoholic mix. So, it's all for fun.
I don't believe him.
All
Great, now the cops are coming.
I know.
Thanks. Thanks, girly.
Whatever. I'm gonna get this ready because someone over here needs to check into their nursing station at the hospital there.
Shut up, punk. I'm trying here, right? Don't want to ruin the beer by just.
Nurse Amy.
This is good stuff, by the way.
It is good.
You did. I mean, we did really well on this.
We did that, man. That's not me.
It's true.
We did it. We brewed it.
Yes, but you carbonated it. I'm just gonna put you in charge of carbonation.
I did.
You are in charge of the carbonation department.
I did a very slow carbonation where I set it. Initially, I put 30 psi on it, let it sit overnight, and then I drop it down to about 12 or 13 psi, and then just let it sit for literally over 2 weeks. As long as you don't keep messing with your temperature and stuff, or not your temperature, your pressure, it'll equalize. The beer is only going to take so much carbonation based off how much what you have it set at. So you can actually over carbonate if you keep adding more and more and more to it, but you don't want to do that. There's a chart. I don't know the name of the chart, but there's a chart that's pretty common, and you're looking for your ratio of CO2 to the type of beer you're making, and it's different. I'm not sure how it's calculated. Ales, certain kinds of ales, you're going to have this number, and then it's based off the temperature of your carbonation. So this is a huge spreadsheet chart, like an Excel document. And so you're looking for the one column with the temperature of the beer, and then the other column is the parts per million of CO2, and then you just marry it up, of course, and then that's what you're supposed to carbonate at. And then once you set your regulator at that, and you just kind of forget it for the next 2 weeks. And then over time, as your wort is cold, that CO2 is going to absorb into it, and it's going to reach saturation. It won't take anymore unless you create up pressure. So that's why once you find that pressure point that you need, you leave it alone.
Just so we know, I carbonated this beer, which is why it's weird.
So
I think it'll taste okay. Let's check it out. Beer that Jamie carbonated.
I do what they kind of call the not the fire and forget, but just kind of set it and forget it, and just let it go. And it takes about 2 weeks, and it's saturated appropriately, but it's drinkable probably within 4 or 5 days. You can actually probably drink and enjoy it. It won't be as bubbly as you probably want it, but you can still enjoy it.
Now this again is our mystery beer.
Mystery beer,
That had we're not quite sure what happened, but
it still tastes sweet, like it's the same thing. I think it's sweet because there's the yeast didn't eat enough of the sugars. That's why it's sweet.
Oh yeah,
That's my little hypothesis on that one. So
I think that's a good hypothesis.
I'm at 18 minutes this week now.
18?
18.
18. What is it? 10, right?
So what I'm going to do at my 10-minute mark is go in, I'm going to fill my carboy with the 3 gallons of water that need to go into it. So actually at 10 minutes I'm going to pitch my.
Would it be 2 gallons of water? Think about it. We didn't lose that much.
Oh yeah, 2 gallons of water, and then we'll top it off.
Yeah, but at 10 you're going to pitch your second hops, right?
Yeah. So I'll pitch my second hops first.
You have like 6 minutes, man.
Yeah,
You're getting a little
zealous.
yourself.
Getting a little zealous there. So yeah, I still have 7.5 minutes on my until I pitch my second hops.
Yeah, this is absolutely drinkable, but you're right, it's super light.
That's all right though.
I hope that red has some good character. I think it tasted good the other day.
Yeah, when we did a little pre-taste, when we racked it, it was good.
Yeah.
Or no, we caked it. We racked it. We caked it.
Yep.
We racked
What did we rack the other day?
What did we brew last time? What did we brew last time? You remember?
Nope. It was cream ale.
No, maybe no. The red is what we racked.
So we racked the red. What's in the keg?
Kolsch. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
There's a Kolsch in the keg. The red is racked.
We don't need to document our recipes. We need to document what the hell
beer we made.
made.
Keep a timeline because we're making so much beer that we're literally losing track of what we have, man. And it's our fault because we're not labeling the carboys as we put them in.
We probably should do that. Yes.
Back in the day when we would do like one batch every 8 months, it was easy.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Yeah, it was like, what'd you make? It was an IPA. It's the only thing we made in 8 months.
I mean, unless something just comes up because of family issues or just scheduling, we literally brew every 2 weeks, man. We have beer going. We have a process, so.
And it's fun to broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Not gonna lie about that. It'd be really cool if people would start joining in and pitching comments because we would love to talk back to you.
Yeah, seriously.
We would. But just this, and it's a good thing. It's a good hobby. We gotta keep it as a hobby.
Yeah, it is a hobby. Yeah, I mean it's a hobby.
I'm
pretty passionate about it, but I don't expect to make money from it or anything. I'm not trying to do that.
If someone offered me $100,000 a year to do this, I might like.
I'd be a brewer for $100,000 a year easily.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Definitely would do that.
No, but all jokes aside, I mean, it's a hobby. I'm pretty passionate about it, just because I want to make good beer. I like good beer.
I think it's
a lot of fun.
I think it's worth it to get into bottling, just because then we can get beers to other people.
It's easier to share, yeah.
Well, yeah, so my dad comes out every so often, and he would like to drink our beer.
Yeah.
He would like to take it home with him. But if he takes it home with him in the growler, he's going to have to drink it on the road, which I hear is illegal.
I heard it's illegal in the United States, yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably not a good idea, especially with some of our beers, which are hitting like 8 and 9% ABV, ABV.
Right?
It's like, you don't want to drive with this one.
All right, well, then I think we should try it at least once.
We have plenty of bottling sugar because they give it to us every time.
I know, right? And based off what I read, it'd be easy to do it. I'm not sure.
Now here's a real question. How hard is it to get all the way to a certain point and put, say, like 4 gallons into your keg, right? And then use that other gallon and put it into bottles.
I think it'd be a little difficult. We'd have to figure out how to adjust the sugar because you're gonna when
I've never bottled before.
when we bottle the beer, we're not gonna put sugar each into an individual bottle. We're gonna
You don't, huh?
We're gonna mix the sugar and the wort all the way around, and then we're gonna put it in the bottles and then cap them. And then that sugar will be consumed by the yeast. It's still, the little bit of yeast is still in there.
Well, I bet that wouldn't be hard then.
No,
Like
we
seriously,
just have to
it would
adjust
just be,
the amount of sugar.
a math thing, It's like,
It's
all right,
exactly
so
what it would be.
we're in a gallon bucket instead of a 5-gallon bottling bucket. So we're doing a gallon. So just reduce your sugar pretty much by.
I'm trying to remember what the ratio
80%.
is. It's in Charlie's book. The ratio of this is how much bottling primer you put in your 5-gallon batch. It wasn't a whole lot actually. I can't quite remember what it
I'm
was.
sure it's not.
I mean, you just warm it up and you mix it up real well, and then you bottle the beer, cap it. And it takes about another 2 weeks for it to bottle condition, which is just fancy word for saying it's going to carbonate. And then hopefully we didn't do it wrong because you can have explosive bottles. Your bottles can literally blow up and make a big mess, glass everywhere. Or
I would kind of want to see that, by the way.
other time.
I would like to see it happen.
Well, we could set it up to do that, but not in my closet. Other things that can happen is your bottle may not blow up, but you pop your top and just foam everywhere, because it was too much. That's why
A gusher.
That's why they recommend you don't try to put the sugar in each individual bottle. You dissolve it into your wort and then you bottle. But you do the bottling process.
I guess that makes sense.
So that it's even across the board.
So if you just did a gallon, you could. I mean,
we
could
just have to
figure it out.
adjust the sugar a little bit. Whatever the math is, we can figure it out.
Yeah, maths are not hard.
Maths.
And that's
When did it become maths? That's what I'm trying to figure out, man.
when stupidity began to rule the world.
Well, I noticed a lot of non-native English-speaking countries use maths.
Maths?
Maths, yeah, like it's
So
plural.
like legitimate, not like the stupidity that happens in our language.
No, not like dumb Americans, but like other countries, it's normal in their their culture to call it maths. I've heard Australian people say that, which obviously they're native English speakers. I get that, but they have their dialect, which is Australian. I'm not sure about the UK or not. I don't know if they use maths or not, but I've seen it a lot of the last, let's say, 10 years. In U.S. English, math is one of those words kind of like deer. You have many deer, or you see a deer out there, or fish. You don't say, look at all the fishes. You say, look at all the fish. Kids might say fishes, but
We can go out on a limb here and say that in English, it's the same. And in Australian English, it's the same. And then I'm going to go further out on the limb and say dumb Americans are like dumb English people are like dumb Australians.
yeah, everybody has their dumb people. I get it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you're from. You have your dumb
That's
people.
something, that's an interesting thing. Let's not go into politics because we kind of try to avoid that. But just this idea, I think Americans we hate each other, ourselves so much. And it's like, oh, Americans, it's like, you know what, buddy? Because I've been around the world. You've been around the world, right?
Literally.
And I have
Literally been around the world.
I've been out of the country more recently than you have.
That's right. You went to England.
Right. And I can tell you that people are people. So this whole concept of, Americans, it's like, no, you know what? Maybe I'll give you Western civilization. All right? I'll give you that. Western civilization, there's something about that the modern mentality must be right on target.
Right on target.
Nice. Good job.
2
man.
seconds. Literally 2 seconds.
Sweet. Well done, sir.
I lost the hot pellet.
A hot pellet.
A hot pellet.
Not even.
That's right.
That's amazing how you went through it out of the garage. It hit the door and went back in the garage.
Yes.
I just watched that happen.
It happened. It totally
Anyways,
happened.
this whole concept is just like, you know what? This is not this phenomena of selfishness or like lack of thinking, like I don't want to think, or tribalism. All these things. It's maybe it's an American phenomenon, or maybe it's just because American media likes to trash on Americans.
Exactly.
And stuff. But I've just seen it, because I have foreign friends who live in foreign countries, right? They live in these countries now, and I talk with them about politics, which, by the way, it took me a good 18 months before I was ready to say, hey, let's
Right.
talk politics with my friends,
I gotta get the cardboard ready, man.
Oh, go get
So-
the cardboard ready.
You talk
Anyways.
to the audience. I'm gonna get everything ready
My
because
point
I have
being,
9 minutes. So.
my point being, as you leave, is that these things that we often label as American, not so much. It's just a human thing.
They extend other Western cultures.
It's all over the world. Yeah.
You know?
All right,
I
so
think
you-
Western culture is a good umbrella term. You know.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and that was our little foray into philosophy and politics. We probably won't go.
I am forgetting an important thing.
Your beer?
Water.
Oh yeah, you kind of need that.
I need. I was like, where do the other ones go? They're right there.
You should bring your beer though, so you can drink it.
Oh, that's right. I'm there.
Hey, just so everyone knows, we are doing tap water today. We tasted a beer that we mirrored with tap water, and we were just like, man, it's like, why are we spending all this time and effort going to buy water and all this when we could just use tap water right from the tap? We're using Steve's water because he lives in town, and that water is good water. I live out of town, I'm on a well, and you can taste my water, like, especially if it's a little bit warmer. If it's super cold, like right out of the fridge, you can't taste quite so much. You warm it up a little bit, yeah, you can taste the minerals in that water. I wouldn't use the water from my well to make beer. In fact, we don't drink my water. We pretty much just, we buy drinking water. We use it for cooking and washing and all that fun stuff because it's not poisonous, but it's just not that delicious. Oh, let's talk about something else. So, since Steve is off doing the sanitization thing, this is a little bit more complicated. This whole concept of running 2 batches of beer and trying to get things timed all at the same time and stuff. So here's one, homebrewtalk.com. Let's go here and see what these folks say. This is a forum, so this might be interesting or it might be stupid. You never know. So, Chemin14 says, I just recently bought Brewing Classic Styles, and the recipes give you the alpha acid of the hops and the IBUs from each hop addition. In the book, it says to adjust the amount of hops according to their actual alpha acids, but doesn't tell you the equation. How do you do this? And are there any calculators available? So this guy just says, I've been using Beer Recipator Home. You ready already?
No, that's what I have 6 minutes.
Well, I mean, like, you did your thing already?
Yeah.
What were you doing? Maybe
Just getting the cardboard ready.
Oh, yeah. That's
Just put more water in the cardboard. So that way
Oh,
it
is
has
that it?
the cold water, you know.
Yeah. So you don't
The-
shock the glass and break it?
Pretty much, yeah. Because I mean, once I chill the wort, the wort will chill within probably 3 minutes. You know.
Oh, yeah.
That wort chiller is phenomenal. Reed, if you ever watch this, thank you so much for that. My friend Reed he used to be a big time home brewer, and he stopped doing it, so he passes some of his equipment to me, and it's been a lifesaver. He gave me, let's see, the wort chiller, a carboy, a couple carboys, and 2 kegs. Yeah.
Dude, we've easily gotten $500 or $600 worth of equipment from your friend
I know, right? That's awesome.
for free.
For free, yeah. He didn't want any
For
money
free.
for it.
This is
I offered money.
crazy.
But I think at a minimum, we at least need to share some beer with him, given the opportunity.
And that's why we need a bottle.
He doesn't live in town though. He kind of bounces between here and Everett, and so
Bounces?
yeah, he has properties.
So does he live in a camper or something?
No, he's got one of those things.
Oh, so he pogo sticks around. What kind of idiocy is this?
Wow, we went way off on that one.
Boy,
No, he has.
So what do
He
you
has
mean?
rental properties.
Right, but so where does he actually live?
He has a house here. He has a house down south.
So occasionally he lives here and occasionally he lives down south?
Wherever he needs to be at the time.
Nice.
You know?
Well,
I think he has a lot of properties. I'm not certain on his.
I think that's another reason that we need the bottle.
Exactly.
Because I'm actually
Sure.
not a big bottling fan, with the exception of the ability to share.
Right, no, I agree,
Because
I agree.
a growler it literally is. It's now. Here you go,
Take it
drink
now.
this now
Or
and
it's gonna go
tomorrow.
flat, you know?
Yeah, I mean, because it's not going to be any good in 2 days. But a bottle of beer, and that's the one argument. It's like, yeah, bottling makes sense.
I have 4 minutes.
But the whole reason I like kegs is because it's 10:30 at night. I don't want a 12-ounce beer. I want 2 ounces of beer. You know, I just want to finish this web page that I'm on. But I just want a little bit of beer to go along with the web page that I'm on.
Oh, I get it,
I
yeah.
don't want a 12-ounce bottle because that'll take me another 40 minutes because I've already had 8 12-ounce bottles and I'm feeling a little fuzzy. And it's hard to power through a 12-ounce bottle when you've already had 8. Plus, I'm full, I'm fat, I'm sneezing because of the whole genetic. Thank you very much, Dad. The genetic sneeze when you get too full thing. Just be glad that you don't have that. It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing.
I sneeze because of hay fever,
No, well, I don't have
which
that.
is coming on because here we are in spring,
Oh,
lots of green things around where we live, so.
my poor kiddo has that. Man, his nose is so red because, you know, he's got autism, and so he just doesn't give up, man. Just keeps wiping and
Right.
wiping and picking and wiping and wiping and blowing. It's
It's
like,
like, gotta not
stop, dude. Everything you're doing is not helping you. But we got some Flonase, which is technically it's an old prescription because it's a prescription stuff, but it works.
Ah.
I hit him 2 days in a row, and he did pretty good today. I forgot today because I was late to church, and so I was like, running. Tomorrow I'll hit him though, but it seems to help him. So, but yeah, I do not have the hay fever thing. Neither does Timo. And today he's like sniffling. I'm like, "You okay?" He's like, "I just got the hay fever." I'm like, "No, you don't." What are you talking about? You do not.
You don't have the hay fever. The hay fever.
The hay fever. Yeah, you do not have the hay fever.
How done your time, man?
Oh, I should probably check.
You're
it.
probably ready for your second wind real soon, I bet.
Yeah.
I'll pass these to you if you're ready.
3 minutes.
Did you buy this at the Navy Exchange?
No, that was given to me.
Oh, okay.
The guy we hired a new guy at work,
I'm
and
gonna get this ready for you because mine's about to
it's
go off.
3 minutes, dude. 3.
But mine's about to go off.
Okay, well,
So I'm gonna not be here to pass this thing.
okay,
to you.
good to go. Thank you very much. So anyways, he's a retired chief AS. He did a lot of boat time, like he was a lot of ship's company type stuff. Anyhow, so I don't know, he just kind of, he really gets into that whole supporting veterans thing, you know, and we're a brotherhood. And I'm not, you know, I don't want to denigrate that, but I guess it's just not my thing. I don't know, maybe I'm a callous asshole. Sorry, I know it's a family program, but you got to use a word that fits, you know? Seriously, I just don't, or maybe it's just because I've seen too many veterans that it's just like, I'm sorry, man, you're a dirtbag.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it.
You know, it's like, I'm homeless. It's because you're an idiot. You know, this is not poor veteran warped by the world. This is like, you were lucky to stay in the military as long as you did. I served with you. I hated serving with you. I was always cleaning up your messes. You're a jerk then, you're a jerk now. You need to pull your head out,
Right.
You know? I don't know. But anyways, this guy's really nice, right? So he's a retired chief. He's really cool. And I lost my pocket knife, although I didn't. It was apparently in the bottom of my backpack.
Yeah.
And he came in one day, he's like, "Here, man." And of course it's, you know, it's kind of got the whole thing, you know, united we stand type deal, which is very cool. I like it. It's nice and sharp.
Yeah.
It's a nice little knife. It's perfect. That's exactly the thing. The only reason I like my other one is because it has a flathead screwdriver on it and a couple other toys
Okay.
that are really, really useful. We have one, and we are done, huh?
Yep.
All right, rock and roll, dude. Go
All right.
put that in the chiller because that means I've only got like 11 minutes left. 10 minutes and 36 seconds, so we're gonna... Wrong way!
I had to do that.
Yeah, I know.
We killed the broadcast, or?
No, not yet, man, because I'm still brewing and stuff.
We're not.
Once you get it chilled a little bit, or you know what? Get it chilling and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay.
Come on now. Get it out of the bag and go into the pot. Into the pot! All right, there we go. Nice. I was almost as close as he was. Gonna give that a stir.
I paid for the car.
I hate in the car.
Because it's going through there, so it's hot.
It's kind of nice, actually. It would squeeze it out, because that's when you clear when that's the ground.
Running cold water from the hose to the coil, making this stuff cooler. So it's taking the heat and transferring it out. It's gonna cool off eventually.
All right, you got it doing this thing?
Yeah, it's chilling.
All right, man, let's say goodbye.
I've got to get the thermometer going here in a second.
Well, this will
All right.
only take a couple seconds.
Yeah, I got it. I got you.
How are we doing here? Hold on a second. So I got like 8 minutes left on mine.
You already did your hops, right?
Yeah, I just pitched the hops. All right, we're good. Hey, thank you very much for being here. Those of you that were here, thank you, Chase, for pitching in and throwing a few comments up there to make it look like a cool broadcast. I did see like 19 people have stopped by, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
For those of you,
by.
yep, those of you watching on the replay, feel free to throw comments on the social media for this
Suggestions.
stuff here.
Anything, man.
Drop by. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, Jason is gonna stop by.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, we'll work it. You know, we do it play it by ear and
If they're
stuff.
gonna tell us we suck, at least tell us why we suck, so that we can get better.
Or like be creative because I will troll the hell out of you. I'm not lying. All right. Anyways, hey, so we had a good time. We're excited. I am definitely excited about this beer. And so, yeah, relax.
Don't worry. Have a homebrew.